The final days of inmates on death row at Goulburn Correctional Centre. The last night is always the quietest. In a small cell behind thick walls and locked metal doors, a man sits on his narrow bed. His hands are folded. His eyes are open. He is not sleeping. Outside, the prison is silent. No shouting. No footsteps. No voices. Only the slow sound of time passing. Tomorrow, everything will change. This is the story of the final days of inmates on death row at Goulburn Correctional Centre. This is what happens when the clock is almost finished. And once you hear this, you will never look at prison the same way again. The place where time stops. Goulburn Correctional Centre sits far away from busy cities. No tall buildings. No bright lights. No loud traffic. Only open land, quiet roads, and high prison walls. From the outside, it looks like a strong gray fortress. Tall fences. Sharp wires. Security cameras everywhere. Nothing gets in. Nothing gets out. Inside those walls is a special section. It is called death row. This is where inmates live when they have been sentenced to die. Here, time feels different. Minutes feel like hours. Hours feel like days. Days feel like years. Some men have been here for 5 years. Some for 10. Some even longer. They wake up every day knowing one truth. Their time is limited. Mantelpiece clock, a normal morning on death row. Every morning starts the same way. At exactly 6 a.m., the lights turn on. Bright white light fills the small cells. No sunlight. No warm glow. Just cold, hard light. A loud buzzer sounds. Bzzz. That sound tells everyone. Wake up. Another day has started. Each cell is small. A bed. A thin mattress. A metal toilet. A tiny sink. That is all. No posters. No photos. No decorations. Nothing personal. Because this place is not meant to feel like home. It is meant to feel like waiting. Door the guards. Soon after the buzzer, guards walk down the hallway. Their boots hit the floor. Tap, tap, tap. They stop at every door. They look inside. They check faces. They check movements. They count. One guard calls out, "Cell 12." The man answers, "Here." "Cell 13?" "Here." Every voice must respond. If someone does not answer, alarms go off. Because on death row, nothing can go wrong. Bust in silhouette, meet David Carter. In cell 17 lives a man named David Carter. David is 42 years old. He has short hair with gray in it, deep lines on his face, tired eyes. He has been on death row for 11 years. When he arrived, he was young and angry. Now he is quiet, very quiet. David was convicted of a serious crime many years ago, a crime that ended a life. The court said he must die for it. Since then, he has lived inside this small box. For more than a decade, brain what goes on in their minds. People often ask, what does a man think about when he knows he will die? Inside death row, thoughts never stop. Some inmates think about their childhood, their parents, their mistakes, their last words, their victims, their regrets. David thinks about his mother. She used to read to him when he was little. She used to say, "David, be kind, be good." Now she is old. She visits once a month. She sits behind glass. She cries quietly. David cannot touch her. He can only look. Breakfast behind bars. At 7 a.m., breakfast arrives. A small tray slides through a metal slot. Clang. Inside the tray, 2 slices of bread, a small bowl of cereal, a plastic cup of water. No choices. No menu. No favorites. Everyone eats the same thing. David eats slowly, not because he enjoys it, because it gives him something to do. When you have nothing, even eating becomes important. Calendar the letter. One morning, something changes. After breakfast, a guard stops at David's door. He holds an envelope, white paper, red stamp, serious face. He slides it through the slot. Carter, official notice. David freezes. His hands shake. He knows what this letter means. He opens it slowly. Inside it says, execution date scheduled. 3 weeks. 3 weeks left. After 11 years of waiting, the end now has a date. Face without mouth, a silent reaction. David does not cry. He does not shout. He does not fall down. He sits. He stares at the wall. His heart beats fast. Boom, boom, boom. He whispers to himself. So this is it. Around him, other inmates hear the news. Word spreads quickly on death row. Everyone knows. David's time is coming. Some men whisper prayers. Some stay quiet. Some turn away, because seeing someone reach the end reminds them their turn may come too. Crescent moon night on death row. That night, David cannot sleep. The cell is dark. Only small lights in the hallway glow. He lies on his bed, eyes open, thinking, remembering, regretting. He thinks about the day he was arrested, the trial, the judge's voice, the sentence, the long years inside. He whispers, if I could go back. But he knows he cannot. Time only moves forward, never backward, warning what comes next. From this moment on, everything will change. More guards will watch him. More rules will follow. More visits will come. More goodbyes will happen. And the countdown has begun. 3 weeks, 21 days, 504 hours, until the final moment. But what really happens in those last days? How do inmates prepare? Who do they see? What do they feel? And what is waiting for David at the end? The countdown begins. After the letter arrives, nothing feels the same again. The walls look closer. The ceiling feels lower. The air feels heavier. David Carter wakes up the next morning with one thought: 20 days left. He does not need a calendar. He counts in his head. Every breath, every step, every meal, everything now has a number. Hourglass not done extra watch. 2 days after the letter, new rules begin. 2 guards now walk past David's cell every hour. Day and night. Tap, tap, tap. They stop. They look. They write notes. Is he breathing? Is he moving? Is he alive? They are not being cruel. They are making sure nothing happens before the scheduled day. On death row, the system wants full control. Nothing must change the plan. The mirror moment. One morning, David stands in front of the small metal mirror near his sink. It is scratched. It is cloudy. It is old. He looks at himself. Really looks. His face is thinner. His eyes are darker. His hair is turning gray. He whispers, I don't even look like me anymore. He tries to smile. It feels strange. He has not smiled in years. Envelope letters from the outside. Soon, letters begin to arrive. Some are from his mother, some from old friends, some from people he does not know. One letter says, I pray for you every night. Another says, I forgive you. Another says, you ruin lives. Not all letters are kind. David reads them all. He keeps some. He tears up others. He folds one for his mother and puts it under his pillow. It says, no matter what, you are still my son. Telephone receiver the last phone calls. David is allowed more phone calls now. 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. He calls his mother. Her voice shakes. David, are you okay? He lies. Yes, Mom. I'm okay. He does not want her to worry. She cries anyway. I wish I could hold you. I know, he says softly. They talk about simple things. Weather, food, old memories. Not about death. Never about death. Puzzle piece meeting the counselor. A prison counselor begins visiting David. Her name is Ms. Turner. She sits outside his cell. She speaks calmly. How are you feeling today, David? Sometimes he answers. Sometimes he stays quiet. One day he says, I'm scared. She nods. That's normal. Another day he says, I deserve this. She does not argue. She just listens. On death row, listening is rare. Scroll the last appeal. David's lawyer visits. He brings papers. Thick folders. Legal words. Hard to understand. We filed the last appeal. The lawyer says, This is the final chance. David asks, "Do you think it will work?" The lawyer pauses. "I'm being honest. It's unlikely." David nods. He expected that. Hope is dangerous here. It hurts too much when it dies. Man standing, other inmates watch. The other men on death row notice the changes. They see the extra guards. They see the visits. They see the papers. They know what it means. One inmate, Marcus, whispers through the wall, "Stay strong, brother." Another taps twice on the pipe. That is their way of saying goodbye. No hugs. No handshakes. Only sounds through walls. Poultry leg, the special meal list. One afternoon, a guard brings another paper. "This is your last meal request form." David looks at it. Lines for food. Drinks. Dessert. Anything reasonable. He stares. For a long time, he has not chosen food in years. Now, he can choose his final one. He writes slowly. Fried chicken. Mashed potatoes. Corn. Apple pie. Orange juice. Simple food. Food his mother used to make. Cloud with rain, bad dreams. At night, sleep becomes hard. When David sleeps, he dreams. He dreams of running, but his legs are heavy. He dreams of doors, but they never open. He dreams of voices calling his name, but he cannot answer. He wakes up sweating, breathing fast. The guards check. "You okay, Carter?" "Yes," he says, but inside he is not. Tear off calendar, 10 days left. Soon, the number changes. 10 days. Only 10. David starts to clean his cell. He wipes the bed. He folds his blanket. He lines up his few books. Not because he must, because it gives him control. In a place where he has none. Speech balloon, a hard confession. One day, Miss Turner asks, "If you could say something to the victim's family, what would it be?" David closes his eyes. "I'm sorry," he says. "I know it's not enough. I know it can't fix anything. But I mean it." Tears fall. He does not wipe them. He lets them fall. Warning, half the time is gone. Now, half the countdown is finished. Only days remain. Soon more rules will come. More guards. More restrictions. More pressure. And soon, David will be moved to a special cell. The final cell, where no one stays long. What happens there? How is it different? And what does it feel like to walk closer to the end? The final cell. 5 days remain. 5 short days. That is when everything changes again. Early in the morning, 2 guards stop at David Carter's door. "Carter, pack your things." His heart drops. He knows what this means. It is time to move. Man walking the walk. David is handcuffed. His hands are cold in the metal. Chains connect his feet. Clink, clink. He walks slowly down the hallway. Guards on both sides. No talking. No stopping. Other inmates watch through small windows. Some nod. Some look away. Some close their eyes. Because seeing this walk is painful. It means someone is almost done. Door the final cell. They stop in front of a different door. Thicker. Darker. Stronger. This is called the holding cell. The last place before execution. The guard opens it. Creak. Inside is even smaller. 1 bed. 1 light. 1 camera. No shelves. No books. No comfort. Only empty space. "This is your cell now," the guard says. The door shuts. Boom. I always watch. Here, David is never alone. A camera watches him. Day and night. Guards check every 15 minutes. Sometimes every 5. They look through the window. They write notes. He's breathing. He's awake. He's sitting. He's lying down. His life is now a report. Brain the thought storm. In this cell, thinking becomes louder. No distractions. No noise. No escape. Only thoughts. David thinks. About school. About friends. About mistakes. About anger. About that terrible day years ago. He whispers, "I wish I listened. I wish I walked away. I wish I stopped." But wishes cannot change facts. Open book a Bible in a book. A chaplain visits. He brings a Bible. "You can keep this," he says. David accepts it. He also asks for one novel, an old story he loved as a teen. They allow it. He reads slowly. Every page feels important. Every word feels heavy. Handshake final visits. Now visits become special. No glass wall. No phone. David's mother is allowed to sit across from him, with guards watching. She walks in slowly. She looks smaller, older, weaker. "Hi, my boy," she says. He stands. They hug, for the first time in 11 years. Tight, long. Neither wants to let go. They cry. Together. Broken heart a mother's words. She holds his face. "David, I love you. I know, Mom. You were good once," she says. "I know. I forgive you," she whispers. Those words break him. He sobs. Like a child. She wipes his tears. Like she did long ago. Writing hand the final letter. That night, David writes. One last letter. He writes to the victim's family. He writes, "I am sorry. I take full responsibility. I know I cannot undo what I did. I hope one day you find peace." He signs his name. Slowly, carefully. Fork and knife with plate, the last meal. 2 days before the end, his meal arrives. Fried chicken, mashed potatoes, corn, apple pie, orange juice. It smells good. He eats slowly. He remembers family dinners. Sunday afternoons. Laughter. Warm kitchens. For a moment, he feels human again. New moon the last night. The final night arrives. No sleep. No dreams. Only waiting. Guards are everywhere. Phones ring softly. Papers are checked. Doors are tested. David sits on his bed, hands folded, eyes open. He prays quietly, not for escape, for forgiveness, for peace, for his mother. Megaphone morning comes. The sun rises. Light enters through a small window. It is pale, cold. A guard says, "Time." David stands. His legs shake, but he stands. He is ready, or, at least, as ready as anyone can be. Warning the final walk begins. They cuff him. They open the door. The hallway waits. Bright lights. Silent guards. Heavy steps. This is the last walk. The final journey. No return. But what happens inside the execution room? Who is there? What are the last words? What does David say at the end? And what does the prison do after it's over? The last moments. The hallway is quiet. Too quiet. David Carter walks slowly. His chains make soft sounds. Clink, clink, clink. Every step feels heavy. Every step feels final. Guards walk beside him. No one speaks. No one looks at him in the eyes. They all know what this walk means. There is no turning back. Door the execution room. At the end of the hallway is a white door. It has no name, no sign, no window, just a handle. A guard opens it. Inside is a clean, bright room. White walls, bright lights, cold air. In the center is a bed with straps, leather straps, 4 arms, 4 legs, 4 chests. Next to it is a glass window. Behind that glass sit witnesses, officials, lawyers, doctors, family members. Some stare, some cry, some look away. Woman health worker, the medical team. People in uniform stand near machines, tubes, monitors, needles. They check papers. They check names. They check times. Everything must be exact. No mistakes. No delays. This is a process, not a moment. Bed lying down. A guard gently guides David to bed. Sit. He sits. Lie back. He lies down. The bed is cold, very cold. They place straps over him, one by one. Click, click, click. His arms cannot move. His legs cannot move. His body is still, but his heart is racing. Boom, boom, boom. Last look. David turns his head. Through the glass, he sees his mother. Her hands are shaking. Her face is wet with tears. He mouths, "I love you." She mouths, "I love you too." That is their last conversation. Without sound, open book the final words. An official steps forward. "David Carter, do you have any final words?" The room is silent. David takes a deep breath. He speaks slowly. "I am sorry for the pain I caused. I accept responsibility. I pray for the family I hurt. I love my mother. I hope God forgives me." He stops. That is all. No more words. Alarm clock the signal. A doctor checks his heart. A guard checks the clock. An official nods. It is time. A phone rings softly. Someone answers. "Yes, confirmed." They hang up. Another nod. The signal is given. Syringe procedure begins. A curtain opens slightly. Behind it, unseen hands prepare the equipment. Clear liquid moves through tubes. The room stays quiet. No talking. No noise. Only machines. Only breathing. David closes his eyes. He whispers, "Mom." The final breaths. His breathing slows. In, out. In, out. Longer pauses. His chest rises. Then slower. Then weaker. The monitor beeps. Beep, beep, beep. The sound becomes softer. Then farther apart. Stethoscope to confirmation. A doctor steps forward. He checks. He listens. He waits. Then he looks up. He speaks clearly. "Time of death, 6:14 a.m. A pen writes it down. Just like that, a life ends. Crying face after moment, David's mother collapses into a chair. Officials escort her out. Some witnesses cry. Some remain silent. Some leave quickly. No one celebrates. No one smiles. This is not a victory. It is an ending. Police scarlight inside the prison. Outside the room, life continues. Guards return to posts. Doors lock. Phones ring. Schedules resume. Breakfast is served. Another normal day, in a place where something terrible just happened. Warning, but the story is not over. David is gone, but his story remains. So do the stories of other inmates, other families, other victims, other guards. Other lives change forever. What happens to the body? What happens to his belongings? What happens to his mother? And how does the prison move on after death? After the silence, after the room becomes quiet, after the lights stay on, after the officials leave, something strange happens. Everything feels empty, not loud, not angry, not dramatic, just empty, like the air itself is tired. Man standing the body. David Carter's body stays on the bed for a while. A white sheet is placed over him. Slowly, carefully, with respect, 2 staff members enter. They check the papers again. They check the name. They check the time. Nothing moves forward without proof. They lift him onto a stretcher. Gently. No rushing. No talking. Just quiet work. He is rolled out of the room. Down the same hallway. The same path he walked earlier. But now, he does not walk. Package personal belongings. Back in the final cell, guards begin another task. They collect David's things. One by one, his Bible, his book, his letters, his folded clothes, his old photos, his notebook. Everything fits in one small box. That is all he owned after 11 years. One box, a life reduced to paper and fabric. The box is labeled, Carter David deceased. Open mailbox with raised flag, the final delivery. A few days later, the box is mailed. To his mother. When it arrives, she does not open it right away. It sits on her table. For hours, then days. When she finally opens it, she holds his shirt. She smells it. She cries. She keeps his letters. She puts his Bible by her bed. It is all she has left. Coffin, what happens next? David's body is prepared by professionals. Cleaned, dressed, placed in a simple coffin. No big ceremony. No large crowd. Only close family. Only quiet prayers. Only soft tears. He is buried in a small cemetery. A plain stone with his name. 2 dates. Nothing more. Brain the guard's burden. People think guards feel nothing. That is not true. Some guards cannot sleep that night. Some go home and hug their children. Some stay quiet for days. One guard says later, "You never forget the face. You never forget the eyes." Even years later, they carry those memories forever. Puzzle piece the empty cell. Back at Goulburn, cell 17 is empty. The bed is clean. The light is on. No voice answers during count. Cell 17, silence. A guard marks the paper. Vacant. Soon, another inmate will move in. Another story will begin. Another countdown. Newspaper the news report. A short article appears in the news. Execution carried out at Goulburn Correctional Centre. Few paragraphs. Facts. Dates. Times. No emotions. No tears. No memories. Just information. Most people read it, then scroll away. But for some, it means everything. Family woman boy a mother's life after. David's mother visits his grave every month. She brings flowers. She talks to him. She says, "I hope you are at peace. I still love you." She joins a support group, other parents, other families, all sharing loss, all sharing pain. They understand each other. No one else does. Dubbed the victim's family. The victim's family also lives on. They carry their own pain, their own memories, their own questions. Some feel relief. Some feel nothing. Some feel sadness. Justice does not always bring peace. Sometimes it only closes one door and leaves many others open. Hourglass not done, the system moves on. Inside the prison, schedules continue. New letters are sent. New appeals are filed. New dates are set. The process never stops. One life ends. Another waits. The machine keeps moving, warning the unfinished questions. Was David more than his crime? Could things have been different? Did anyone truly win? Does this end pain, or only pass it on? These questions have no easy answers, and maybe they never will. Milky Way where the story pauses. This is where David's story rests. For now, but his story is only one. Inside these walls, there are others, other men, other letters, other countdowns, other final walks, and one of them is already beginning. The next name on the list, 3 weeks after David Carter's execution. Cell 17 is no longer empty. A new man sits on the bed. His name is Michael Reed. He is 36 years old. He has dark hair, quiet eyes, a thin face. He arrived on death row 8 years ago. Now, his name is next. Page facing up the notice. One early morning, a guard stops at Michael's cell. He holds the same white envelope, the same red stamp, the same serious face. Read, official notice. Michael's hands tremble. He already knows, but knowing and reading are different. He opens it. His eyes scan the paper. Execution date, 28 days. For weeks. That is all he is left. Face without mouth, no reaction. Unlike David, Michael does not cry. He does not sit down. He does not stare. He just stands there, very still, very quiet, like a statue. Later, a guard whispers to another. He didn't even blink. But inside, Michael is breaking. A childhood memory. That night, Michael lies awake. He remembers being 7 years old, riding a bike, falling, scraping his knee, his father picking him up, saying, "You're strong, son." Michael whispers, "I'm not strong now, Dad." Telephone receiver, a different kind of family. Michael has no parents left, no wife, no siblings. Only one person visits him. His younger sister, Anna. She lives far away. She works 2 jobs. She saves money just to come see him. When she hears the news, she cries on the phone. "No, not yet, please." "I'm sorry," Michael says. "I'm sorry for everything." Open book, a man who reads. Michael loves books more than anything. History books, science books, stories. Reading helps him escape. When he reads, he is not in prison. He is somewhere else. Now he reads faster, like he is racing time. Brain guilt that never leaves. Michael committed his crime during a robbery. Someone was killed. He did not plan it, but it happened, and he ran. He was caught, convicted, sentenced. Every night, he sees a face. Every night, he hears a sound. He whispers, I'm sorry, but the past never answers. Chair the counsel returns. Ms. Turner meets Michael now. Same chair, same calm voice. How are you holding up? He shrugs. I deserve this. She replies, you are more than your worst mistake. He looks away. He does not believe her. Envelope letters he never sent. Michael writes letters. Many letters. To Anna, to his father's memory, to the victim's family, to himself, but he sends none. He keeps them under his mattress. Afraid, ashamed, unsure. Fork and knife would plate food, without taste. Food no longer tastes good. Chicken feels like paper. Bread feels like dust. Water feels empty. He eats anyway, because his body still tries to live, even when his mind is tired. Man standing David's shadow. Michael heard about David. Everyone did. He knows he now sleeps in the same place, walks the same hallway, sits on the same bed. Sometimes he touches the wall and thinks, David was here. I'll be here, then gone too. Tear off calendar, 2 weeks left. Time moves fast now. Too fast. 2 weeks. 14 days. Michael begins giving away his things. His favorite book to another inmate. His extra blanket. His pen. Why, they ask. I won't need them, he says, warning a secret decision. One night, Michael makes a choice. A hard one. A brave one. A painful one. He takes out the letters. He reads them again. Then he places them in envelopes. He writes addresses. Tomorrow, he will send them. For the first time, he will speak the truth. But what will he say? How will people react? And will it change anything before time runs out? The letters that could not wait. The next morning, Michael Reed wakes up early. Before the lights. Before the buzzer. Before the guards walk by. He is already sitting on his bed, holding 3 envelopes. They feel heavy in his hands. Not because of paper, but because of what is inside. Envelope the first letter to Anna. The first envelope is for his sister. Anna. He reads it one last time. It says, Dear Anna, I'm sorry for making your life harder. I'm sorry for the tears. I'm sorry for the shame. You never gave up on me, even when I gave up on myself. Please live your life. Be happy. Don't stay sad for me. I will always love you. Your brother, Michael. His hands shake. He presses the letter to his chest. For a moment, he feels like a big brother again, not a prisoner. Envelope the second letter. To the victim's family. The second letter is the hardest. He reads slowly. Every word hurts. Dear sir and madam, I took something from you that I can never return. I took your son. I took your brother. I took your happiness. I live every day knowing what I did. I am ashamed. I am sorry. I do not ask for forgiveness. I only ask that you know I regret it with my whole heart. Michael Reed. Tears fall on the paper. He does not wipe them. They belong there. Envelope the third letter to himself. The last letter has no address. It is for him. It says, Michael, you were once a good boy. You laughed. You helped people. You had dreams. You made terrible choices. But you were not born bad. I hope God remembers the good parts too. He folds it carefully. This one, he keeps. Man walking the mail slot. Later that day, a guard opens the slot. Mail. Michael nods. He slides 2 envelopes out. The guard takes them. Good luck, the guard whispers. Not officially, not loudly, just human to human. Telephone receiver Anna's reaction. 3 days later, Anna receives a letter. She sits in her car. Outside work. She opens it. She reads. She cries. She does not go inside. She sits there for an hour, holding the paper. Then she calls him. Michael, I got your letter. I meant every word, he says. I know. I'm proud of you, she whispers. That sentence stays with him forever. Open mailbox with raised flag the other family. The victim's family also received their letter. They read it quietly, at home, at the kitchen table. No cameras, no reporters, no noise, just silence. The mother cries. The father stares. They do not reply, but they keep the letter. Brain a small change. After sending the letters, something shifts in Michael. He feels lighter, not free, not happy, but less heavy, like he put down a bag he carried for years. Ms. Turner notices. You seem calmer, she says. I told the truth, he replies. Open book preparing for goodbye. Now, Michael begins to prepare. Not legally, not officially, emotionally. He starts giving advice to younger inmates. Don't join gangs. Stay in school. Listen to your parents. They laugh sometimes, but they listen because he is serious. Crescent Moon, a different kind of dream. One night, Michael dreams of home, not prison. His old room, blue walls, posters, a window with sunlight. He wakes up smiling, then remembers, and the smile fades. Tear off calendar, 7 days left. 1 week, 7 days. The guards start watching more closely. Extra checks, extra notes, extra rules. Michael is moved closer to the final cell. He knows what comes next. The question, standing by his mirror, he asks himself, did I do enough good after doing so much bad? He has no answer, warning a surprise visitor. 2 days later, something unexpected happens. A guard opens his door. Read, you have a visitor. Michael freezes. Only Anna visits, but she was here last month. Who, he asks. You'll see. They begin walking. His heart races. Who would come now? And why so close to the end? The visitor no one expected. Michael Reed walks down the hallway slowly. His hands are cuffed. His mind is racing. Who could it be? His sister already came. His lawyer has no new news. No one else ever visits. So who? Door the visitation room. The door opens. Michael steps inside. He stops. His breath catches. Sitting at the table is Mr. Harris, the father of the victim, the man whose son Michael helped take away. The man Michael has feared for years. Flush face shock and fear. Michael cannot move. His legs feel weak. His chest feels tight. He whispers, You came? Mr. Harris looks older. Gray hair. Deep lines. Tired eyes. Yes, he says quietly. I came. Chair sitting down. A guard gestures. Sit. They sit across from each other. A small table between them. No glass. No phone. Just space. Just air. Just history. For a moment, no one speaks. Broken heart, the first words. Finally, Mr. Harris talks. I read your letter. Michael's heart pounds. I didn't know if you would, he says. I almost didn't, Mr. Harris replies. But my wife told me to. She said, we need to see his face. Crying face an apology in person. Michael's voice breaks. I'm so sorry. I know it means nothing. I know I ruined everything. I would trade my life to fix it. Tears fall. He covers his face. I would do anything. Old adult, a father's pain. Mr. Harris closes his eyes. My son was 19, he says. He loved basketball. He wanted to be a teacher. He used to call me every Sunday. His voice shakes. Now my phone never rings. Dove White came. Michael looks up. Then why are you here? Mr. Harris answers slowly. Because hating you was killing me too. I couldn't sleep. I was angry all the time. My wife said, we need peace. So I came. Handshake, a moment of humanity. Mr. Harris reaches into his pocket. He pulls out the letter. Folded. Worn. I read this many times, he says. You sounded honest. Michael nods. I was. Cloud with rain, forgiveness, not forgetting. I will never forget what happened, Mr. Harris says. Never. But I forgive you. Michael freezes. You do? For me, Mr. Harris replies. For my wife. For my son. So we can breathe again. Michael breaks down. He cries openly. I don't deserve that. No, Mr. Harris says. But I'm giving it anyway. Hourglass not done time runs out. A guard clears his throat. 5 minutes. Neither man moves. They sit quietly. No more words needed. Waving hand goodbye. When time is up, Mr. Harris stands. He holds out his hand. Michael hesitates, then takes it. They shake. Firm. Respectful. Real. Live your last days with peace, Mr. Harris says. I'll try, Michael replies. Brain, a changed heart. Back in his cell, Michael feels different. Not free, not saved, but accepted, seen, human, for the first time in years. He sleeps deeply that night. No nightmares. No fear. Just rest. Tear off calendar, 3 days left. Only 3 days remain. Michael is moved to the final cell. The same one David used. The same bed. The same light. The same camera. But Michael enters it with a lighter heart, warning the final question. Now, everything is ready. The schedule, the room, the staff, the witnesses. Only one thing remains. Michael's final choice. What will he say? Who will he think of? And how will he face his last moment? The last 3 days. 3 days. That is all Michael Reed has left. 3 mornings. 3 nights. 3 sunsets he cannot see. 3 chances to think. 3 chances to remember. 3 chances to say goodbye. Sunrise day 1, acceptance. The first morning in the final cell feels strange. Not scary. Not loud. Just calm. Michael wakes up before the guards. He sits on his bed. He closes his eyes. He breathes slowly. In. Out. For the first time in years, he is not fighting reality. He accepts it. This is my end, he whispers, and I will face it. Open book reading for peace. A guard brings his last book, a small novel. He reads all day. Not fast, not slow, just steady. Every sentence matters. Every page feels like a gift. When he finishes, he closes it gently. Thank you, he says. To the book, to the story, to the escape. Telephone receiver, one more call. That evening he calls Anna. She answers immediately. Michael. Hey, sis. They talk for an hour. About childhood. About silly memories. About favorite foods. About nothing. And everything. At the end, he says, promise me you'll live strong. I promise, she cries. I'll carry you with me. Crescent moon night 1. That night, Michael dreams of the ocean. Blue water. Warm sun. Open space. No walls. No bars. He wakes up smiling. Sunrise over mountains day 2, reflection. The second day is harder. Thoughts return. Regret. Pain. What ifs? I could have. I didn't. He writes in his notebook. Just 1 page. I am sorry. I learned. I changed. I wish it mattered sooner. He tears the page out. Keeps it. Handshake a visit from Ms. Turner. Ms. Turner visits one last time. She sits quietly. You found peace, she says. Because people gave me grace, Michael replies. You gave it to yourself too, she says. He thinks about that. Maybe she is right. Fork and knife with plate. Last meal choice. A guard brings a form. Last meal. Michael looks. He smiles softly. He writes. Rice and beans. Grilled chicken. Bread. Chocolate cake. Milk. Food his sister used to cook. Home food. Memory food. Milky Way night 2. Sleep is harder now. He prays. Not for life. For courage. For his sister. For the victim's family. For everyone he hurt. Then he sleeps. Sun behind small cloud day 3, the final day. The last morning arrives quietly. No announcement. No music. No drama. Just light. And time. A guard opens the door. Good morning, Michael. "Good morning," he replies. Calmly. Bathtub preparation. He is allowed to shower. Warm water. Clean clothes. Fresh sheets. Dignity. Respect. The system gives him this. At least. Writing hand final message. He writes one last note to Anna. "I'm at peace. Please be strong. I'm proud of you. I love you." He folds it, hands it to a guard. "Please give her this." "I will," the guard says. Fork and knife with plate, the last meal. His food arrives. He eats slowly, enjoys every bite, every taste, every memory. "This is good," he says. And he means it. Mantelpiece clock, 2 hours left. 2 hours. He sits on his bed, eyes closed, breathing steady. No panic, no shaking, only calm. Warning, the final call. A voice comes through the door. "Michael, it's time." He opens his eyes. He stands. He straightens his clothes. He nods. "I'm ready." But what happens in the final room? What are his last words? And how will this story truly end? That moment is next. The last walk. The door opens slowly. Creak. 2 guards stand outside. Their faces are serious, but not cold. One of them says quietly, "Michael, it's time." Michael Reed steps forward. His hands are cuffed. His feet are chained. Clink, clink. He takes a deep breath and begins his final walk. Man walking the longest hallway. The hallway feels longer than ever. Brighter, colder, quieter. Every step echoes. Tap, tap, tap. Michael looks straight ahead. He does not cry. He does not beg. He does not slow down. He walks with dignity, with courage, with peace. Eyes faces behind glass. As he walks, he passes small windows. Behind him, other inmates watch. Some press their hands to the glass. Some whisper prayers. Some turn away. They know this could be them one day. Michael nods slightly. A silent goodbye. Door, the white door again. He reaches the same white door. The one David walked through. The one no one returns from. A guard opens it. Inside, the room waits. Bed, the final bed. Bright lights. White walls. Cold air. The bed stands in the middle. Straps ready. Machines quiet. Witnesses behind glass. Michael sees Anna. She is holding a tissue. Her face is red from crying. He smiles at her. She mouths, "I love you." He mouths back, "Always." Open book last words. An official steps forward. "Michael Reed, do you have final words?" Michael breathes in. He speaks clearly. "I am sorry for my crime. I hurt many people. I regret it every day. Thank you to my sister for never leaving me. Thank you to the Harris family for showing mercy. Please choose kindness. I am ready." He closes his eyes. Stopwatch, the final signal. A doctor checks his pulse. A guard checks the clock. A phone rings. A nod is given. Everything is ready. Syringe, the final moment. The process begins quietly. Clear liquid moves through tubes. Michael feels coolness in his arm. He whispers, "Anna." His breathing slows. In, out, longer pauses, softer breaths. The last heartbeat. The monitor beeps. Beep, beep, slower, farther apart. Beep, silence. Stethoscope declaration. The doctor steps forward. He listens. He waits. He looks up. Time of death, 6:02 a.m. A pen writes it down. Another life ends. Crying face the aftermath. Anna covers her face. She cries quietly. Officials guide her away. Mr. and Mrs. Harris hold hands. They close their eyes. They whisper prayer. Guards return to duty. Doors lock. Schedules resume. The prison keeps moving. Milky Way, a life remembered. Michael Reed is gone, but his letters remain. His words remain. His change remains. In the hearts of those he touched. He did not erase his past, but he changed his ending. Warning where the story pauses. Inside Goulburn, another cell is now empty. Another name is crossed off. Another file is closed. But somewhere, another letter is being written. Another date is being set. Another story is beginning. And this story is not finished yet. The truth behind the walls. After Michael Reed is gone, after the papers are signed, after the room is cleaned, something remains. Not noise, not anger, not headlines. A feeling, a heavy feeling, that never leaves this place. Brick the walls remember. People think prisons forget. They do not. The walls remember. Every cry, every prayer, every goodbye, every last breath. If you stand quietly at night, you can almost feel it, like the building is holding stories inside. Too many stories. Too much pain. Man standing the inmates who stay. Life on death row continues. Other men wake up. Other men eat. Other men wait. In cell 12 sits James. In cell 19 sits Robert. In cell 22 sits Victor. They all watched Michael leave. They all heard the silence after. Now they ask themselves, when will it be me? No one answers. Hourglass not done. Every day is a question. On death row, every morning feels strange. You wake up alive, but you don't know for how long. A letter could come. Today, tomorrow, next year, or never. Some men pray for time. Some pray for an end. Some pray for miracles. Some stop praying at all. Open book how they pass time. There's no TV in most cells. No internet. No music. No games. So they use their minds. They read. They write. They count. They talk through walls. Tap. Tap. That means, you okay? Tap. 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 That means, I'm here. It is their language. Their friendship. Their survival. Brain the mental struggle. Waiting is harder than people think. Not knowing is torture. Some inmates talk to themselves. Some walk in circles. Some stare at walls for hours. Some stop eating. Some stop talking. Guards call it losing hope. Inmates call it dying early. Adult medical symbol help that is limited. Counselors try to help. Chaplains visit. Doctors check. But they cannot fix everything. How do you heal someone who knows they will die? Sometimes all they can do is sit and listen. Man police officer, the guard's secret pain. Guards never talk about it publicly, but many suffer too. They see the endings over and over. They learn names. They hear stories. They watch families cry. Some guards quit. Some drink. Some become quiet. One guard once said, "You lock the door, but you never lock the memory." Open file folder the files in the office. In the prison office are metal cabinets. Inside them are files. Thousands of files. Each one is a life. Name, photo, crime, sentence, date. To the system, they are papers. To families, they are everything. The small acts of kindness. Even here, kindness exists. A guard brings extra water. A counselor stays late. An inmate shares his book. Someone listens. Someone cares. These small things keep people human. Envelope letters that never stop. Every week, mail arrives. Some letters say, "I believe in you." Some say, "You deserve this." Some say, "God loves you." Some say, nothing kind at all. But inmates read them because words are connection, and connection is life. Waxing crescent moon nights of fear. At night, fear grows. Lights dim. Sounds echo. Thoughts become loud. Some men whisper prayers. Some cry quietly. Some stare at the ceiling. Every night, someone wonders, will tomorrow be my last? Warning a system that never sleeps. The death row system never stops. Appeals, meetings, reviews, schedules, decisions. Somewhere, someone is always deciding who lives, who waits, who dies, and most people never see it. Globe showing Europe, Africa, outside versus inside. Outside the prison, people go to work, kids go to school, families eat dinner. Life feels normal. Inside, time is frozen, pain is slow, hope is fragile. Two worlds, side by side, never touching. Candle the question no one answers. After David, after Michael, after so many others, one question remains. Does this place bring justice? Does it bring peace? Or does it only create more sadness? No one agrees. No one knows. Milky Way where we pause again. Behind these walls, another man is waiting. Another letter is coming. Another family will cry. Another story will begin. And one of those stories is closer than anyone thinks. The case that changed everything. 2 months after Michael Reed's execution, something unusual happens at Goulburn Correctional Centre. Something no one expected. Something that makes guards whisper and makes inmates sit up straight in their cells. A new file arrives, a thick one with red markings and bold letters on the front. Urgent review. Open file folder, a different kind of name. The file belongs to an inmate named Daniel Moore. Age, 29. Time on death row, 6 years. Crime, armed robbery and murder. Sentence, death. But inside the file, something looks wrong. Very wrong. Detective, a young lawyer. The case is reopened by a young lawyer. Her name is Rebecca Lane. She is new, not famous, not rich, but determined. She reads every page, every report, every witness statement, every police note. She notices small things, dates that don't match, times that don't fit, names that change, details that disappear. Puzzle piece the missing pieces. One witness said Daniel was tall. Daniel is short. One report said the suspect limped. Daniel never limped. A security camera near the crime scene? Broken that night. Strangely broken. A fingerprint? Never tested properly. A jacket? Lost. Destroyed. No record. Fearful face Daniel's story. Rebecca visits Daniel. He sits behind glass. Nervous. Thin. Quiet. I didn't do it, he says. I was scared, so I ran. But I didn't kill anyone. He tells her, I was with my cousin. At a gas station. Someone can prove it. No one ever checked. Telephone receiver to cousin. Rebecca finds a cousin, living in another state, working construction. He is shocked. They never called me, he says. He was with me all night. He gives receipts, phone records, photos, proof, all ignored before. Newspaper media attention. Rebecca contacts journalists. They start asking questions. Why was this evidence missed? Why wasn't it tested? Who approved this case? Headlines appear. Death row case under review. Inmate may be innocent. The prison feels it. Everyone feels it. Man police officer tension inside. Guard become nervous. Meetings increase. Phones ring constantly. Officials visit. Inmates whisper. Someone might get out. Maybe we're not all guilty. Maybe. Hope enters death row. A dangerous thing. Brain Daniel's emotions. Daniel cannot sleep. He is scared of hope. I've hoped before, he says, and it hurt. Rebecca replies, this time is different. I have proof. Balance scale the emergency hearing. A judge schedules an emergency hearing. Fast. Unusual. Serious. Daniel is taken to court. In chains. In public. For the first time in years. People stare. Cameras flash. He shields his eyes. Speaking had the evidence revealed. Rebecca presents. Phone records. Receipts. Witness statements. Expert analysis. Timeline charts. It doesn't fit. It never did. The courtroom grows silent. Astonished face the judge's face. The judge leans forward. Reads. Rereads. Asks questions. Long questions. Hard questions. The prosecutor struggles. Sweat forms. Voices shake. Something is wrong. Everyone sees it. Warning a shocking possibility. For the first time in years, a thought enters the room. What if we were wrong? What if an innocent man has been waiting to die? What if David and Michael were not the only ones? What if more mistakes exist? Tornado, the system trembles. Officials panic quietly. Phone calls. Private meetings. Closed doors. No statements. No promises. But fear spreads. Because if one case is wrong, how many others are? Milky Way where we stop, for now. Daniel Moore's fate is now in the balance. Freedom or death hang in front of him. One decision away. And that decision is coming soon. The day of the decision. The courtroom is silent. So silent, you can hear people breathing. You can hear papers move. You can hear hearts beating. Daniel Moore sits at the table, hands folded, eyes forward. He has waited 6 years for this moment. 6 years in a small cell. 6 years of fear. 6 years of saying, I didn't do it. Now, someone is finally listening. Balance scale, the judge returns. The judge walks back into the room. Everyone stands. Chairs scrape the floor. The judge sits. Everyone sits. He looks tired. His face is serious. He holds a thick stack of papers. The evidence. The truth. The mistakes. He clears his throat and begins. Scroll the words that matter. I have reviewed all materials. The judge says, carefully, repeatedly, completely. Daniel holds his breath. Rebecca grips her pen. The prosecutor looks down. The judge continues. This court has serious concerns. Those words hit like thunder. Serious concerns. Fearful face a broken case. The judge speaks slowly. The timeline does not match. The witness statements conflict. Key evidence was not tested. Important leads were ignored. Murmurs spread in the room. People whisper. Reporters write fast. The judge raises his hand. Silence returns. Brain the biggest sentence. Then he says, this court finds that the conviction is unsafe. Unsafe. That one word changes everything. It means mistakes were made. Truth was missed. Justice failed. Warning the order. The judge looks directly at Daniel. Mr. Moore, your death sentence is hereby suspended. Gasps fill the room. Someone cries. Rebecca covers her mouth. Daniel's eyes widen. He cannot move. The judge continues. You will be removed from death row immediately. A new trial will be ordered. Loudly crying face, a man breaks down. Daniel does not cheer. He does not jump. He does not shout. He collapses into his chair and cries. Hard, deep, years of pain pour out. I'm alive, he whispers. I'm still alive. Handshake, Rebecca's victory. Rebecca places her hand on his shoulder. We did it, she says softly. You're safe. For now. Tears run down her face. This is why she became a lawyer. For this moment. For this life. Telephone receiver, the news explodes. Within hours, the story is everywhere. Death row inmates spared. Major errors found. Justice system under fire. Phones ring. Emails flood. Politicians speak. Officials panic. The country is watching. Oncoming police car back to prison, but different. Daniel is taken back to prison, but not to death row. Not anymore. He is placed in regular housing. No more final cell. No more countdown. No more execution date. For the first time in years, he sleeps without fear. Brick shock inside death row. When the news reaches death row, everything changes. Inmates whisper, did you hear? He got off death row. They were wrong. Maybe they're wrong about me too. Hope spreads. Like fire. Like light in darkness. Brain a dangerous thought. Now many men think, what if I'm innocent too? What if my case is wrong? What if I could live? But hope is risky here, because not everyone will be saved. Man police officer officials under pressure. Prison leaders meet secretly. Lawyers review old cases. Judges ask questions. Files are reopened. Mistakes are searched for. The system is scared, because one crack can break everything. Warning, a new battle begins. Daniel is alive, but he is not free. Not yet. A new trial is coming. Prosecutors will fight. Lawyers will argue. Truth will be tested again. And anything can happen. Milky Way where we pause again. One man escaped death, but many still wait. Some guilty, some maybe not. All trapped, all afraid, all hoping. Daniel's fight is not over. In fact, it has just begun. When the walls can't hide the truth, behind these walls, we saw David, we saw Michael, we saw Daniel. 3 men, 3 stories, 3 very different endings. One waited for death, one found peace before it, one escaped it. But all of them were trapped inside the same system. A system made of paper, rules, schedules, and decisions. A system run by people. And people can make mistakes. David taught us what regret looks like. Michael showed us that change is still possible, even at the end. Daniel reminded us that truth can be buried, but never forever. We saw mothers cry, sisters wait, fathers forgive, guards carry memories, victims' families search for peace, and inmates count days, one breath at a time. Death row is not just about punishment. It is about time. Time lost, time wasted, time that can never come back. And sometimes, time taken from the wrong person. Every file is a life. Every sentence is a future. Every mistake is forever. That is why these stories matter. Because behind every headline is a human being with a past, with choices, with pain, with hope. Some people will say they deserved it. Some will say they didn't. But one truth remains. Once a life is gone, it can never be returned. No apology, no court, no excuse can bring it back. So the next time you hear about death row, remember David, remember Michael, remember Daniel. Remember that justice is not just about punishment. It is about getting it right. And somewhere tonight, behind locked doors, under bright lights, with silent prayers, another person is waiting. Another story is unfolding. Another ending is being written. The question is, will it be fair? Will it be true? Will it be too late? This is not just their story. It is ours. Because how we treat the weakest, the broken, the forgotten, shows who we really are. Thank you for listening. Thank you for caring. And thank you for remembering that every life still matters.